Hey, it's Gabe with API Nation. Today I'm going to show you how you can sync dotloop and Mailchimp. So all those contacts you have in dotloop can automatically get put in Mailchimp. It's going to create an instant email newsletter for you. You can even set up a field in dotloop to go into Mailchimp as tags to trigger those awesome customer journeys, those drip campaigns that are going to work to create more deals for you. Super easy to set this up. Let me show you how. So the first thing you're going to do is go to apination.com and you're going to click Get Syncs. It's going to ask you to sign in or sign up for API Nation. An API Nation account is totally free to sign up. You won't pay until you actually subscribe to a plan. So you can sign up, poke around, and see what kind of automations you could be using. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. I'm already a member here, so I'm going to click Sign In. Great. Now you see a ton of different apps here. You can automate marketing apps, real estate apps, productivity apps. I'm going to come down here to Mailchimp and click on that. And you can see you can sync Mailchimp with a ton of different apps. A lot of different opportunities here for automation. First, we're going to connect our Mailchimp account. So I'm going to click on Connections and I'm going to hit Add Account. So to add my Mailchimp account, it's just going to ask for a label, and that's just going to be the name of your Mailchimp account or the name of the owner of the Mailchimp account or the office who uses it. I'm just going to put my name in. That's totally fine. And this is just if you're using multiple Mailchimp accounts. So maybe you're managing Mailchimp accounts for yourself, your team, another business. That's all this is. So I'm going to name this Gabeco because I only have one. And then I got to get this API key from Mailchimp. To get that, just hop into Mailchimp. You're going to click on your little icon up here in the top right corner and click on Profile. Then you're going to see here under Extras, the API keys. So I'll click on that. You're going to have a bunch of different API keys if you've created them. I'm going to go ahead and create a new one right now. And I'm going to call this Gabeco key. Generate the key. There it is. I'll copy it. Go back to API Nation and paste it in. Hit connect. There we go. You can see I now have my Mailchimp account added. Let's go back to integrations. And today we're syncing a dotloop. So I'm going to come down here and click on dotloop. And you can see there's two syncs available. You can sync contacts or you can sync loop participants. Totally up to you. Contacts is going to be everybody in your address book. Loop participants is going to be anybody who you've added to a loop. There's some more details in loop participants, like what kind of roles people played. So I'm actually going to use that loop participants. And you can set up both actually. So you can send everybody who's been a loop participant and also everybody who's been a contact. But I'm just going to focus on loop participants for now. So I'll activate this. And then you're going to connect dotloop. You're just going to hit connect, sign into your dotloop account, give it permission, and that makes the connection super easy. And we already connected Mailchimp. We found that API key, put it in here, made the connection. And now you're syncing dotloop contacts, people who were involved in loops, into Mailchimp. So you can choose to sync from a particular point in time. Like maybe I just want to sync people from the beginning of the year until now. You could do that. You can sync all existing people from your loops in dotloop account. You can do that. And then here you're going to choose which profiles in dotloop if you have access to more than one profile. I'm just going to go all profiles, get everybody in there. I'm building up an email newsletter list in Mailchimp. I want everybody possible in there. And here you can actually choose the loop status. So maybe I only want to send people into Mailchimp if they are under contract, for example, or pre-offer or sold. Maybe I only want them in Mailchimp after they've actually sold. Totally up to you. I'm going to get everybody in there. I'm going to put them all in there. And then I'm going to put them in my audience here, real estate clients. You can also choose here if you want to overwrite the information in Mailchimp with the customers from dotloop, or if you just want to add any new information from dotloop. I'm going to say don't overwrite the information. Hit subscribe. It's going to create the sync. Again, you're going to see all the information from that last page. And a couple new things. For one is the filter. So here you can filter out exactly who's coming over from dotloop. So let's say I only want to send over people who had a loop zip code that contained 92111. You could do that. You could do it based on any of these fields in dotloop. Maybe you want to do it based on role. Maybe I only want to send over buyers or sellers or attorneys. You could do that. and say no filter. Let's get everybody over there. And then here is the mapping. So here is the .loop information and where it's going in Mailchimp. So email from .loop is going to go in email from Mailchimp. Makes sense. First name, last name. Really interesting thing here is you can send things over as tags in Mailchimp. So for example, maybe you want to send that role over as a tag. You can do that. That way they're tagged with their role in Mailchimp. That's pretty effective. Or you can also do status. And the status might be nice because then if you have them sent over with their status tag, you can set up different automations in Mailchimp with different drip campaigns based on their status. So once I change their status to sold, for instance, I can have a campaign set up in Mailchimp. It's called the customer journey, something like this, where they get tagged with that sold, and then they get an email string, maybe some SMS stuff that walks them through, that congratulates them, and sends them emails for the next 3, 6, 9 months, walking them through that post-transaction process. And that all happens automatically because you are syncing status over as tags. This all looks good. I'm going to go to the top and activate this sync. And there we go. And if you want to set up that other sync, you can just click on the .loop logo or the Mailchimp logo. It's going to take you to all the syncs for that app. Come down here to Mailchimp. And this time we would do contacts and address book. So this is going to get all those contacts in there. Very similar setup. And this is great if you have a ton of contacts in your contact book in .loop. Maybe they're not all added to loops as people who were involved, but you want them into your Mailchimp also so you can email them, start nurturing them, and staying top of mind with all those people. Again, you have the filter and mapping here if you want, and I can go ahead and activate this sync. There we go. I now have 2 syncs running, automating my contacts from .loop into Mailchimp. I'm building that email newsletter list. So that's it. That's how you sync a .loop with Mailchimp. Get all those contacts instantly into Mailchimp. Create an instant email newsletter list. You can start sending out beautiful emails, stay top of mind. You can even tag people in Mailchimp just by changing their status in .loop. Very powerful. It's going to help you create more deals. If you have any questions or need any help setting up this sync, give us a phone call, shoot us an email. We're API Nation, and we are connecting the world's applications.